It has been an eventful day in Kenya. I'll start by introducing my guests to you and then the topics one by one. To our far right is Edward Kisiangani. He is our resident political analyst. Next to me is one of the major newsmakers of the day, Kilemi Miria, who is the former Tigania West MP and the President's advisor on education. On my left is Igembe South Member of Parliament, Mithika Linturi, and next to him is ODM's Elections Director, Jeanette Mohammed. Gentlemen, you're all welcome to the program. So we begin tonight on an unlikely note, but this is opinion court, so we rumble and tumble, all cards on the table. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya has admitted to siring a child out of wedlock and is currently being sued for child support. It's an election year, and my question must be obvious to you all. Do you read politics in this, Prof?
I don't think I read any politics in this, because we have read through you, the newsroom, we have heard that the Deputy President acknowledges he had the kid, and the kid is his, and he says he's taking care of the kid, and so that means that there is no politics. There is probably just a disagreement between himself and the lady who is keeping the kid, and that is the position. But what is fundamental here, Anne, is the fact that this is the first time this idea, this thing that we are hearing is rather juicy, because this is the first time we are hearing that the Deputy President is having this kind of thing. He has never declared it. It behoves him to do that, to mention members of his family, because this is his child. We have only heard about other children, but not this Abby. So that creates a little integrity problems, because we are not interested in how he got the kid, but he must also tell us, so that when we meet the kid in the streets, we know this is the kid of the Deputy President, and alongside others. And fundamentally, again, what we really want to find out is whether he informed the wife, the second lady, if you want to put it that way, that he had that kid in 2006, or at what point did she come to learn about it. In this case,
is that a question of that the public needs to know? Is this a private family matter?
It is both, because the child of the president, Deputy President, is not a private person. They have to even be followed by security and be protected. So you cannot call it a private affair. How private can that be? That is the Deputy President is the property of the Kenyan nation.
Okay. So are his children? His children are not out of bounds.
No, the children must also. We must know about the children, and in this case, he has children he has a child out of wedlock, but he also has children that some people already know in the public domain that these are the kids of the Deputy President.
Okay.
So in essence, what we are saying is also it depends on where you're coming from, Anne. If you're coming from the traditional point of view, most cultures have a different way of looking at it. Where I come from, people will tell you the most important thing, if you have a baby out of wedlock, you must take responsibility. It's not even the question of the law, but the customary law forces you to do it. Now, the fact that this lady is asking, you have not taken care of the child, raises a number of questions. Has the Deputy President been irresponsible, even from the customary point of view, customary law point of view, or it is just politics? From there, if we discover that probably the lady saying the truth, the 90,000 that the Deputy President has talked about has not reached the lady for some reason, then it also raises integrity issues.
Is this about integrity? Do you think at all is there a fundamental integrity question, Kilemi?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, the important thing is that the Deputy President has accepted he has a child. I think that itself is an indication of integrity. I mean, you know, he has accepted. Secondly, he has said he is taking care of the kid. What the professor says that we need to announce our children, I think is asking for too much. I mean, it's asking, you know, like friends of mine are Muslim, Miyabon and Jeanette, to announce how many wives he has so that we have them on record, so we know wherever he goes, because he's a Muslim or another Muslim. But if an issue comes, you know, of a problem, you know, there is nothing wrong with that coming out. But unless there has been, you know, a case where the Deputy President had refused to be responsible, or any other man for that matter, I think the important thing is to appreciate the fact that he has said, this is my kid, I've been taking care of the kid, and we'd like, you know, Kenyan men to follow that example. It is terrible to be dragged to court to take care of kids who are innocent, you know, completely innocent. And I have been a great advocate of that any man who has a child and in fact we should have a body in this country, you know, that tracks men who have children
and don't take care of them.
And follow them up.
The DNA test must be included.
Right. Okay.
Of course, DNA test. Yeah, of course. You are not going to. I mean, you know, because people can. Yeah, you have to do that test to prove. But if it's proven, it would be very wrong. So I think that the deputy president is leading by example.
Do we hold our leaders to, or rather people in public life, do we hold them to an unfair standard? Do you think? You've seen the sensation that this story has caused. Should it be a big deal at all?
And I think most important for it, Kenyan to understand, is that these are some of the actions that people have to bear with, especially when you are in certain offices. Because, for example, the issue of having a child, in my view, is normal. There is nothing completely, in my view, wrong. And especially when you really accept and say, yes, I know about this child and I take responsibility. So it's kawaida. So it's no big deal as far as I'm concerned. But the most important thing is to ask ourselves whether, when you take responsibility, whether you live up to that responsibility. And when somebody is saying, as a kid of that particular age, probably, you only find that it's only required to sleep well, pay fees. The cost of such maintenance are so low. But you realize that...
And you're saying that's not actually taking responsibility? Or?
No, I'm saying you're taking responsibility, and including what I learned from the Twitter account, that 40,000 shillings is given for other sorts of upkeep. To me, that is enough money. But you know what we need also to ask ourselves is that whether this woman, or anybody else that may have a kid and may have a suit against any other senior politician, whether these women are always genuine. Because some of them realize that with the kid there, they have an opportunity, a perfect opportunity to enrich themselves unjustly. And these are the things that we undergo every time. These are things that politicians are grappling with. These are things that are never said.
But you realize there's a flip argument that you do not have to end up with that child to begin with. These are circumstances that one, frankly, brings upon themselves.
You know, when you look at the Constitution and the law itself, is that you have a parental responsibility, whether you are living with the child or with the mother or not. And that is the most important, because Article 30 of the Constitution, the best interest of the child is always paramount. And as long as you are responsible enough, you are paying fees, you are taking medical care, you have money for upkeep, nobody should be blamed. Because these children never chose to come into this earth. And as long as we are catering for them, to me it's perfectly in order. And you can't restrict somebody from getting as many children as he so wishes. And in the case, you don't remember, we being quite, men are very, in fact, I say men are endangered. The decision to bear a kid, yes, men are endangered. The decision to bear a kid rests solely on the mother. And that's what I believe.
You certainly can't be arguing that.
No. You know, children can never be accidental. Let me tell you. And this is a position I hold.
Children are not accidental, but I mean, you're almost degenerating this conversation to the point where we need to talk about contraceptive measures that can be used, some that are solely the responsibility of a man. Surely you cannot say that.
No, this is what I am saying.
Don't go there.
Why shouldn't I? Why do you want us to live in denial? Why do you want to live us in denial?
You believe it's solely the responsibility of a woman.
You know, the responsibility to the extent that you have a right to make a decision.
Let's concentrate on looking after the
children. Let's save you and move on to Jeanette. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I think what we are discussing here is the person, the deputy president of the Republic of the country.
Exactly.
And as a leader, you need to inculcate values to the people you are leading. And family values is one of the values that a leader is looked up to. And when you have children on the streets just like that, today when I heard of the matter, I just saw it as one of the episodes of Jubilee. It's part of the SGR, the Eurobond.
How is it?
It's just for some of the things that are coming out every day, problems and here and issues. Anyway, the issue that I want to address this issue in a way, I cannot take the line Honorable Linturi is taking, that it is the responsibility of the mother. It takes two to tangle. It's not the responsibility of a mother to bear a child. You have to do something before she gets the child. So it shows some kind of irresponsibility. It shows some kind of negligence. It shows some kind of value. Here,
you have evidence.
Dr. Kilimi Meria said that Muslims have many wives. They are announced. For now, I have only one wife. But if I marry another one, it will be announced officially.
And the entire panel laughs.
Yes.
That is unfortunate.
Yes, you have to announce.
Only one.
You have one wife. If you want to add a second one, you are allowed 4 wives. But you have to tell Kenyans that I have now 2 wives, I have 3 wives.
You tell Kenyans?
You tell anybody who cares, anybody who is your friend. It's an official thing. No, it's not a private thing. Lastly,
so that we don't degenerate, you're saying that purely because we're dealing with the person of the deputy president, that is somebody who holds high public office.
Power office, and we expect him to, you know, to show value.
But there is something else he also said. He said, you know, this is a characteristic of the Jubilee administration. Are you saying such kind of cases, you know, are not to be found in NASA?
No, you see, what I mean by, you know, NASA at the moment are not in office.
No. What has office got to do with it?
We will put them to that. We will put them to that measure when they get into office.
But for the ones I know, the child is only is not 3 years
it's
old
11.
or 2 years.
I think
the child was not signed when
no.
the DP was.
You see, my friend, as a leader, you
final
must.
Final point.
Yeah, as a leader, you must show other Kenyans good family values. You can't just say, after a lady came out and said that you are not taking care of my child, say, yeah, it's my child, and I'm taking. What made the lady to go to court?
Well, we'll leave that to the court.
Because we spoke about extortion also.
We'll leave that. We'll leave that. No.
Yeah,
we'll leave that to the courts, gentlemen. We don't want to go beyond what we can discuss. On to other matters. Now we have another newsmaker in the house, Kilemi Miria, who today perhaps bore out one of the ultimate political betrayals. Some would argue that you have turned on the president, who you happen to be a close advisor of. You've been holding, still are holding, in fact, the education docket as the president's advisor. Despite numerous attempts by the president and his deputy to reassure those in Jubilee that it's going to be a free and fair nomination process, you bolted. Why?
Well, you know, I mean, obviously you expect a leader of a political party to believe in a fair, fair process. But there are other factors that intervene, that come in, that have nothing to do with the leadership. And I must say I've not betrayed the president. On the contrary, I think I'm supporting him greatly. Because let me tell you why. This idea of putting everybody in one political party has made it very difficult for other potential aspirants to have an opportunity to contest an election. What that means is that many good candidates will not have a chance, you know, either they lost fairly or not, will not, will have voters who will not be motivated to vote for even the other candidate that they support in the political party. So there's going to be voter apathy. There's likely to be voter apathy. If that happens, it is not just Kilemi Mwiria who was rigged out or lost under some controversial circumstances, or even lost fairly. That is the only person who loses. So in going out there, I am also saying I'm representing many of my voters who told me, and it's mainly my voters, I mean, apart from myself, who have said you have no chance there. And if you have no chance, we don't think you should even try, because I will not even cast my vote, because I know it will not. So all those voters also need to have an opportunity to vote for the person of the president.
So the people have said you have no chance there. In your opinion, Mithika, by him defecting, is that a sign of cowardice or bravery?
No, me, from what I've understood by the statement that Daktari has made, is that it's a decision to move to Maendeleo Chap is not because he really wants to win or become the governor of Meru. He's just there to mobilize and encourage his voters to turn up to vote for President Uhuru.
No, that's not what I said.
Is that how you understood it? That's what I have understood him to mean, because he's saying there will be a vote apathy and people may not turn out to vote.
So if they see on another party, they'll turn up and vote.
Yes,
yeah, but I think you must understand the context. She asked me, are you not an enemy of the president? This is the context in which I was answering this question. It's because, I was trying to prove I'm actually not an enemy. Well, I think we need to get that correct. Yes.
But let me explain my point. And the other thing that I find is that, I am entitled to my opinion and my interpretation of what he's saying, is that Kilemi, we've been in Jubilee together, and my apprehension, right?
Has he stabbed you in the back?
Not really. I did not take offense, because I'm a believer in democracy, and I really support him because he's my friend. That if he has made a decision to leave us in Jubilee, so be it. We only have to contend with him when it comes to elections. But it's important to note that the idea that there will be no democracy, or he may not have been in a position to get the Jubilee a ticket, in fact, I think in my view is far-fetched, because the president has pronounced himself. Those that are in Jubilee, like me, are so clear in our minds that the nominations will be free and fair. And to prove this, even when the elections were held for the party leadership in Jubilee, Mheshimiwa Kilemi participated in that election, and the people that are in charge of the Jubilee Secretariat in Meru are his close allies.
All right.
People from his own
Let me come to Jeanette.
but
Jeanette, do
please
you think that this defections, this is also likely going to affect ODM, NASA code, whatever it's going to be? Do you believe it's going to significantly weaken political parties? Does it change the bottom line at all when it comes to the election?
I don't think so. I think it is the wish of anybody politically. You know, it is right to go to any party he feels like he's safe, like the way Dr. Kilemi Muriya did today. But I think if the party can assure their members that they are going to conduct free, fair nominations, which I don't think Jubilee is capable of doing, because this is the first time Jubilee will be conducting nominations in the country. Last time they never did any nominations. So I think that is the problem Dr. Kilemi is fearing. He thinks that is facing. I think he thinks this party is not up to the standard to conduct a free and fair nomination. So he wants to jump ship early enough so that he can prepare himself. You know, he's a man who got 180,000 votes last election, and his competitor got, the guy who defeated him got 183,000, a difference of only 3,000. And here there is a new lineup coming up within Jubilee.
So this is a peculiar problem to Jubilee.
Yes, he has
it's not going to affect ODM. You're not going to see defections on your part coming?
Not much, I don't think so.
I'll tell you why. Let me just say, I'd like to, if you don't mind, because I need to respond to this. There was an accusation that I was, you know, it's not right for me to reject the election of a team, of branch officials I was part of. First of all, let me say there's nothing wrong with saying you were duped when you realize you were duped. I went to the elections, and I can tell you, that, Mithika and Raito played games, and the people that I mean, these are my friends, so he knows. I mean,
but I was not there.
But you sent people to play your games. But so let me continue. Okay. Yeah. So what they did is this: they made sure the people who got the main seats of chairman, secretary general, organizing secretary are people who are very close to them. The chairman of Jubilee Meru was the chairman of the BAS, Kiraito's party. The Secretary General was the Secretary General of Kiraito's party, and he actually also happens to be an MCA. You know, it's against the rules to have a politician as a member of a political.
I'm saying it's a foregone conclusion that Kiraito
and I mean, you know, remember also, you know, and Mithika knows we fought this battle with them for a long time when I was rigged in 2013. That the people.
You are not rigged. I gave you the certificate for TNE. Remember, I was in charge of that county.
I am not talking about clear and fair.
So I'm giving my certificate.
I'm talking about the general election.
There
was no competition for chairmanship. But I just wanted to say, how do you expect Anne Keguta, the people that you know, organize my rigging, or to rig in someone else?
Your political enemy.
And I am now contesting against that person. If he can rig for someone else, why not rig for himself, surely?
But I told you that, including the Supreme Court.
But I'm not I'm not saying you're the one who rig. I'm not contesting against the government.
You see, and my brothers here, I think politicians are accursed a lot. I think, you see, even when matters are very clear, even when they are cheating, you will look at them and you think they want to go to heaven the next minute. Look at what has happened here. Really, this discourse, let us take it to the new level. The level that I want to take it is this: that in moving out of Jubilee to Chap, nothing is lost. And I suspect Mheshimiwa Kilemi Muriya consulted the president.
I did.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And he said, go ahead.
Yes. And this is what the president did. He has institutionalized political polygamy.
No.
I said I was going to move. Why don't you admit to say it? Let me finish the point. There is political polygamy. What unites a polygamous situation is the head of the family, the man, in African context. So, all of you, and you give you pledge loyalty to one person, But that political polygamy means, if you look at the Machakos senator and his chap-chap, they are unlikely to oppose President Kenyatta. And therefore, even Mheshimiwa Clement Mwiria will not oppose President Kenyatta. So his supporters, who will be disgruntled by the nominations, will still say, we have a fighting chance to have Clement win the elections, but we are all supporting Kenyatta. So the person whose political standing is enhanced is the president. Now, I am saying that because I realized the reaction by Mheshimiwa Junet Mohammed was rather infantile. The reason why I'm saying that is that he didn't say he needs to borrow from this discourse that is happening here. CORD, or even if it becomes NASA, must also institutionalize political polygamy. The intolerance you find in Nyanza will not help Raila Odinga. In fact, you must steal this idea of political trickery and also allow more political parties in Nyanza, in the coast, so that the people choose. And if anybody loses, you will blame the people for not voting for you because you have a fighting chance. So this is what is happening in Jubilee, and the Jubilee seems to be ahead of what CORD.
I want to talk to you after the final on that, Jen, because we're coming to you actually, Juliet.
No, I want to...
I'm sure you'll get a chance.
Or probably you pretended.
I want to respond to him.
Let's move on to our final topic, which really focuses.
Can I respond to that before you go?
You'll get a chance to respond, I am sure, Gillette. We're running out of time. And it is this. Is CORD now finally dead? We saw this week the bringing together of a team that is going to form formidably, we would hope, perhaps, a NASA outfit. Has the death knell rung for CORD? Jeanette.
Before that, let me respond to what the Prof has said. Number one, you see, it looks like Prof stays in Kenya only on Thursdays when he appears on this show. CORD has been a polygamous family from the word go, from 2013. What we are discussing here is the hypocrisy of Jubilee, which said they are becoming one monolithic party and they are not going to allow coalitions, they are not going to allow mergers, and now the president has allowed coalitions now. He said, you can run on Chap-Chap, you can run another party. So they were duping Kenyans by saying we are forming one party. That's what we are discussing.
No, but the
Number two, now, the one that Anne has brought now, is true, CORD is not dead, but is semi-dead.
What?
We are thinking
we have in Kisumu tomorrow.
We have NASA. No, me first, I belong to ODM. I don't belong to CORD. CORD is a coalition which has many parties. It has Ford Kenya, it has Wiper. I belong to ODM as a party.
You believe in the idea
we came together in 2013 as CORD under one umbrella of one coalition. Now we are interrogating the idea of getting to another coalition called NASA. The process is ongoing. A committee was formed last week to nurture that process. If a proper agreement and a proper solution is found by that committee, then we may end up moving to NASA. But for now, we are still in CORD.
CORD is comatose.
You
can say that. You agree. Okay, what do you think, Ritika? Is it dead? If it's dead, who killed it?
Let me tell you, without any fear of contradiction, I think what we are seeing around CORD and NASA is only a scheme that is meant to bury CORD and get Kalonzo out of the question. Because remember, last time the issue was Raila ran this time, next time will be Kalonzo. Now, with the coming up of NASA, the question will be the discussion will be, this is not CORD. So their earlier agreement does not hold. So we must renegotiate again. That way means that Kalonzo will not have a chance and Raila becomes the man.
And if Kalonzo will not have a chance, if this scenario of yours is true, do you think then that will keep the hopes of CORD alive as an alternative vehicle to run on?
The probability of these people coming or sticking together, in my view, is quite slim.
Yeah, and then the real problem I have with this is not whether CORD is dead or is not dead, and whichever political party it is, where a few people meet, and the quarrel is about who will be the president. It is never about what we are going to do for Kenya. I mean, this is really sad, and that is why I wouldn't mind any group like that dying, because if they die, it is not because they are the interests of Kenya at heart. It is individuals they're thinking about.
But we don't know that that is the sole reason that they've come together. They want to form a formidable opposition.
The reason they're having problems,
that will remove
the reason they're having
power.
problems is because the main reason they came together is for who is to be the captain.
Prof, what are your own thoughts? And if you do believe that this is the death of CORD, what will ensure that NASA doesn't suffer a similar fate?
You see, to talk about CORD being dead is to assume that it was once alive.
Oh dear. Was it not?
It was a figment of some people's imagination. It didn't exist. In fact, CORD has never existed. What has existed were political parties, ODM, Ford Kenya, and Wiper. But they tried to create something to rally the three of them together, which never flourished.
But how
so
can you
now
say
they
that,
are
Prof? All the major scandals, perhaps, that have come to public light were brought to the public knowledge by a CORD coalition. They didn't go parties alone. It wasn't ODM.
Yes, but you have even heard it from Mheshimiwa Junet Mohammed that
he's ODM.
He's ODM. He's not CORD. And the point I want to make here is this, Anne. What has existed are these political parties, but what has happened among the political parties is to find the best way possible among the principals. Each of those principals has been trying to find the best way possible to dominate others. And they try very hard. Under CORD, Kalonzo Musyoka is true, and this one I would agree with the Mheshimiwa Linturi. Under CORD, Kalonzo Musyoka has been causing some discomfort by saying, now, I helped Raila Odinga, now I would like to be the one approved.
Right.
Now, by creating NASA, you neutralize that thinking. That is correct. But now, even as you see, on the other hand, you have seen there is already the introduction. The creation of NASA is really, really attractive to the ODM party. The reason is this: on one hand, you neutralize Kalonzo Musyoka. On the other hand, you bring in Musalia Mudavadi to neutralize Wetangula. Now, what that means is that you bring Musalia Mudavadi at the center, and already Musalia Mudavadi has been dominated by Raila Odinga in very many aspects, just like Raila dominated the original CORD. In the end, there is only one option, not two. Raila Odinga will be the presidential candidate for NASA. Short of that...
What is the problem with that?
No, there's no problem.
Then why
we are just analyzing a situation. So there's no problem. So, because in politics you have to outpace your opponent. He has done it very well. And one of the things that
he's about to do it again.
And he's going to do it again. And on the other hand, even the way he has dominated has been quite professional. Most of the things that he has been doing in public domain, he's easily going to be believed. Everything that he says in public, he brings some evidence. While his principles are quiet, sleeping, or even sulking, Raila Odinga comes out with some evidence. So he's likely to be believed, and he has dominated the public. He has also dominated the political outfit you call NASA, so he's likely to be the NASA presidential candidate, and other people in that party should just give in and support him.
Final comment.
You know, CORD has been in existence since 2013. For the Prof's information, CORD has a secretariat which is working, which has staff, which you can go tomorrow morning if you want, and they will receive you as CORD secretariat. Number two, I don't see why you should speak on behalf of any CORD principal. None of us came here to hold brief for anyone, and each one of them is looking for political power. Raila is looking for power, to say Kalonzo, Wetangula, and Mudavadi.
Right.
It is the business of CORD to agree and to come up with a formula to dislodge this government from power. It is not the business of a political analyst to tell us that it is Raila who is domineering so and so, and Kalonzo wants to leave CORD. Those are his own opinion, which is entitled to. But what I want to inform him is that these people are together. These people will not separate. These people will go to the election as one. And I can tell you for sure that in 2017 election, we will go as one team, whether in CORD or NASA, and we will have Kalonzo there, Raila there,
I'm not disputed that.
So, Prof, we'll give you a job when we form government.
No. I already have a job. So don't give me a job.
He already has a job right here. Honestly, we're winding it up there, gentlemen.
We're back after this.
We're back after this. You have a job.
Yes.
Who's offering you?
I have a job.
He does. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Yes.